Հունիսի 15-ին եւ 16-ին Երևանում թվապատում մեդիա կոնֆերանսներ։ Այդ օրերին Գրադարանումը վերածվել էր շրջիկ գրադարանումի եւ կոնֆերանսի տարածքում զրուցում էր թվապատման հյուրերի հետ։ Բարև ձեզ, թվապատման մեդիա կոնֆերանսի շրջանակներում այսօր զրուցում ենք Կարմիր խաչի միջազգային կոմիտեի հաղորդակցության մասնագետ Նորա Լիվեի հետ։ Hello Nora.
Hi.
How the social media changed the communication of organizations like International Red Cross?
The average time spent per normal person online is actually 5 years and 4 months of their entire life. So that's a lot of time on social media. And the shift has been starting with younger generation, but it's touching everybody. And now, as we are growing, our habits have changed. And as we would like to communicate, we would like to actually touch people where they are. So we have to be where they are. They're not anymore on TV. They're not reading paper news outlets anymore. They're online and pretty much only on social media. So for us, it's very important to be present in every social media. However, we need to have a different narrative and different discussions in different social media because they're not here to actually do the same job. Nowadays, we're using Twitter. Instead of sending those media releases to journalists, we send it through Twitter, maybe through private messages to journalists we know that could be interested, or we just have a tagline, interesting sentence, and we have a link to our press release.
Do you have like your own guideline for social media?
Yes, we have super great guidelines that were actually rewritten a few months ago by my colleague. She's the social media manager for the ICRC. She's responsible for all the accounts because we have an account, but even almost per country, per delegation. So she rewrote the social media guidelines. It's social media guidelines for people who work in communications, but also for our staff, for their personal social media guidelines.
So your personal account is different from your official.
No.
Are you free with your personal account?
We are free as one can be because we have to ensure that because we work for the ICRC and it's very easy now online to understand who works where and who is who. You're not at work when you are in your private channels. However, you still have to behave normally and you have to behave through the guidelines, through the organization's guidelines. And one thing she says, she wants people to share tweets, to continue sharing information about themselves, but also about the work they do in the fields. Or, for example, I'm sharing that I'm here and what I'm talking about. But she says don't share anything that you don't want to find then on a newspaper outlet. Like don't share or don't do anything that you don't want to see then, for example, on New York Times, or you don't want your mom to see it online. So it's self-monitoring, I would say. As we work for the ICRC, we know what's off limits. It's off limit in the real world, so it's off limit online as well. So
I know that you have to deal with the groups of people in the on the edge, like on the very bad situation. But still, do you like your job? I mean, do you satisfy your job? Do you like to do like social media communication? Do you like it?
Yeah, I really
Is it
like
fun?
it. I think it's not. In my case, it's less fun than if I am maybe doing social media for outlet that talks about celebrities. It's less fun. But I think what's cool of what I do is I get to tell real stories and I get to give the opportunity to the people that actually have difficulties telling their stories to the world. I get to give these opportunities to those people. I like the fact that we can be very creative and we're trying to be more and more creative also with these campaigns and with the website I talked about yesterday called Don't Be Numb. We're trying to teach younger audiences about the rules of war, a concept that not everybody knows about. And by trying to communicate differently, I think that's also what I like about my job, is that we can find new ways of engaging with people on difficult subjects sometimes, but also how to make those difficult subjects interactive. Lately, we've developed an application, a virtual reality application, as well as an augmented reality application. The augmented reality application is an experience you can do with your phone where you enter a room, and this room, you don't really know what you're doing here. You can walk around, and when you're in this room, then finally you understand you're in a room of children and you're in a country that's affected by war. So you see bombarding, the building being bombarded, and then you see the state of the room 1 month, 1 year, and 3 years after in time. And that's what we're trying to do. We're not telling anything, we're just putting the people
to make people to feel
situation, exactly, in the situation. And we don't want to do it to harm people or to, you know, like to lower the experience, or to show, I don't know, to be a bit too much, but we're doing it for people to understand what it is, and that it happens to real people as well. And we showed that also to our colleagues that live, for example, that have lived in Lebanon or living in Syria, and they were really touched and moved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Սոցիալական մեդիայից ստացված տեղեկությունները ստուգելու բազմաթիվ գործիքներ կան։ Մեդիա նախաձեռնությունների կենտրոնի ստուգված համառոտ ուղեցույցը լրագրողների համար օգնում է կազմակերպել աշխատանքը ականատեսներից ստացված տեղեկությունների հետ։ Թողնումը ստուգված է մեր դարակում։ Կհանդիպենք հաջորդ 5 շաբթի գրադարանում։